Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host and the Landscapers coach. And today I'm talking about mindset and why it matters for you and your business success. So let's go to the show.
As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time, and freedom to become limitless through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods. If you want help with your marketing, managing, or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer, or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. How are you doing? How's things going in your business? And today I'm talking mainly about mindset, why it matters. And it's a very easy thing to change. I say easy. What I'm going to tell you is easy. It's not rocket science. However, it's when you decide to take action and decide to make changes that it becomes a little bit difficult. As a landscaping business owner myself, as a business owner in general, an entrepreneur, mindset has most definitely played a part in our success. It's also played a massive part in my bodybuilding journey, and it continues to play a massive part in my personal life as a mother, as a wife. It's really important to think about your mindset. And I'm not talking about positive mental attitude. I'm not talking about just saying positive things. What I'm talking about is working on your mindset. What does that mean? Your mindset is a set of beliefs and assumptions about yourself, your life, the world, your business, and everything in it. And it shapes how you think, feel, and act in any given situation. Now, you have two options, really. You have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, and they're polar opposites. If you are in a very fixed mindset, it means that you don't acknowledge the fact that you could grow. It means that you just decide that you're good or you're not good. It means that when you fail, that is the limit of your abilities. There's no room to improve. There's no lessons to be made. You don't like to be challenged. You don't like new things. You give up when you're frustrated. You seek approval from outside sources when really the only approval you need is from within yourself. And you don't like feedback. So it sounds like really negative, but essentially you don't really believe that anything can change. So you end up being very fixed. Now, on the opposite side of the coin, you've got the growth mindset. And this is the complete opposite. So you believe that you can learn to do anything you want. You believe that failure is an opportunity to learn and to grow. You begin to believe that challenges help you grow. I'm very on board with that concept. You like to try new things. You have massive determination and you love to get feedback. So you utilize feedback and change things in your life. And you have a very big desire and hunger to learn. And that's the difference. How does this affect you? Essentially, when I think about my bodybuilding journey, for instance, because that's fairly new, I'm still on it. I've got another competition coming up in 11 days' time. If I had a fixed mindset, I would take the judges' feedback, which I got from my first competition, and I would dismiss it. I would also believe that I'm not good enough because they've said I didn't place, I didn't get where I wanted to be, so I'm clearly not good enough, and that is the limit of my abilities. And I would probably have given up. I would probably have just said, that's it, I'm done. I haven't achieved what I wanted to, and obviously I'm not good enough. And I would have talked myself out of improving and bettering myself in that respect. Instead, I am of a growth mindset. And I do believe that failure is an opportunity to grow. And I do believe that challenges are there to teach us things. And if you haven't learned the lesson, then you'll continue to be taught the same lessons over and over again until you take heed, until you take notice, and until you change things. So I'm going into my next competition, 11 days, looking at ways that I can improve myself. I know it's only 11 days, but a lot can happen to your body depending on how you fuel it, how you train it, and what's going on in your mind. And don't get me wrong, I've been struggling with this hugely since I came off stage because it's a very strange concept to get your head around. And you do get a lot of the negative Nelly in your head saying you're not good enough, you can't do this. But being of a growth mindset, the challenge is that I improve. And the challenge is that I overcome that negative talk that's in my head. And I go into this next competition from a different place, less pressure, to enjoy it and to see if I improve. Maybe I'll place this time, which would be fantastic. Be an improvement on last time. And I would learn more lessons and I'll get more feedback ready to go into the next season. And I think, in my own personal opinion, from my own personal life, that I believe it shapes you massively as a person. And I've met people that are of a fixed mindset, many people. And I think if you start to look around, you'll notice them yourselves. And then you've been around people with a growth mindset, and it's a completely different experience. And it's also a different energy. I love talking about things like this, energy, and it's enjoyable because they believe in themselves and you mainly as well. Now, there's lots of challenges with adopting this, particularly if you're not of that mindset initially. And that could be from childhood experiences, it could be from what's happened to you in business as you've gone through life, it could be just the way you look at the world. But we have lots of challenges and we have to start looking at these differently and reframing any challenges as opportunities. For instance, as landscapers, as gardeners, designers, we have a seasonal business. Now, we have seasonal businesses that thrive during the spring, summer months, and then they tend not to not thrive. And this is a conversation I was having with a potential client today. It's not that you're not booked over winter, it's that the weather stops play. So often we are fully booked in my own landscaping business. We are fully booked over winter, but we know that weather is going to play a huge part in what we can get done and what kind of projects we can take on, what would be better to do in the winter, what project's going to have to be pushed back just because it cannot be done in cold, wet, icy conditions that the UK will put upon us at some point. And we've got to reframe these challenges as opportunities. It's an external influence that you can do nothing about, but you can do many things. You can reframe it as an opportunity to kind of change what projects you're bringing in. So potentially sell different jobs that are going to fit the winter period. Maybe you're going to do some diversification. Maybe you're just going to plan ahead. Maybe you're going to take a few weeks off. I don't know how you want to do it, but it's time to start looking at the seasonality in particular as an opportunity to reframe the challenge and look to overcome it, because I'm always looking for solutions. Some other challenges you might face, particularly as a business owner, not just as a landscaper, but as a business owner, is clients not paying and putting pressure on your cash flow. You might have challenges with staff. You might just have challenges that you're not very good at marketing, so the leads are drying up. All of these things, but what can you learn from them and what are the opportunities? Could you outsource? Could you recruit? Could you do something else? I don't know, but essentially it's all about looking at challenges as new opportunities. There are some strategies you can do to prepare yourselves for this, to try and change this mindset before you go down the spiral of, I hate this business is not for me, I want to get out. We don't want to be in that mindset. We want to be in the growth mindset. We want to have more of a positive outlook. And to do that, we need to start mentally preparing. And one of the things that you can do is set realistic and achievable goals. That is very important for you. It's not about not dreaming big. I'm all for dreaming big, as you will have known if you've been around these parts for any length of time. I love people that dream big, but there's also an importance to bringing that back and setting realistic and achievable goals. You could try things like visualization techniques, or to prepare your mind and to prepare for what's ahead. You can also look at gratitude, doing gratitude journaling to remind yourself of what's really good in your life at times when it's very challenging. And it will be. You run a business, there's ups and downs. It's never a straight line. It's never all the way up or all the way down. It tends to be a bit like a roller coaster. That's what I've found over the last 14 years. But it also tends to help you build as a person as well, as you overcome the challenges and move forward in your business. It's that determination I was talking about. As a person with a growth mindset, you've got that determination. It's almost a dogged determination to continue. How would you build a resilient mindset? How would you do that? How do you build that resilience within you? Again, like I said earlier about gratitude journaling, you could, do actual journaling if that helps you, if you just want to get your thoughts on paper. You need to embrace continuous learning opportunities and being able to pivot your business and adapt your business at any given situation. As a small business owner myself, and obviously I have 2 small businesses, I am able to do that all the time. So if I see a need, for instance, within the landscapers coach, as the landscapers coach, and I see a need that business owners are asking me for, I can fulfill that really quickly because I am a small business. I don't have a huge team of staff. I don't have a huge organization that I've got to put an idea to a board and then get it agreed. No, I can just make that decision. It's the same in your landscaping businesses. If you're at the smaller end of the scale, you are able to adapt and pivot really quickly. You just need to think outside the box of how to do that. Part of how you would do that is engage in self-reflection and get some feedback to know where you can change, where you can develop, where you can differentiate. But you need to keep reflecting, because reflecting on things is the way to adapt that mindset even more, to celebrate any progress and success you have at going towards those goals. No matter how small, we need to celebrate the small steps we're taking, as well as looking back and celebrating the big milestones we've hit as well. Sometimes when we're in a really bad place, maybe the business taking a nosedive, maybe the leads are drying up or the cash is drying up, you can go on a downward spiral. But if you have this resilience mindset, you can choose, because everything is a choice, everything comes back to choice. You can choose to see it as something that's happening for you, not to you. And you can decide what you're going to do about that. You can decide that you are going to change the business, change yourself, and basically become resilient in yourself and in your business, prevent the downward spiraling, prevent the easy way out, and look to a solution that might be different, but it might also be the solution that overcomes a particular challenge you're having. In my own business, my own landscaping business, I'm always resilient because we're still going 14 years later. Now, not many businesses can say that. We're still trading despite having almost gone completely bust twice at least, for various reasons. Again, everything comes with a lesson to teach us. And we've changed the business in multiple ways. We're still a landscape and design and build company, but we've changed the business model over and over again to suit the needs of us, our clients, and essentially to ensure the business continues being a success that it is. But that's from building a very resilient mindset in both myself and Mike, because if we weren't, we would have given up many years ago. Trust me, it's not an easy journey. It hasn't been an easy journey. And that's why I love to work with other landscapers and designers, because I've been in a lot of those situations that are challenges. I can understand where you're at, where you're coming from, and also what I've tried and what has worked in my business to take me to the next level. All of this has come from just allowing those challenges to be a learning opportunity rather than seeing it as the end of the world, the end of the business, and giving up. And that is all down to working on myself and my mindset regularly, like always looking at my mindset. So, what can you do to work on your mindset? What practical things can you do that you can incorporate into a daily routine? First of all, have a daily routine if you like. Again, this is all down to you. Some people love the 5 a.m. club. I'm not part of that. I am in prep, as you might have heard in other previous podcast episodes. But essentially, I don't tend to want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do work on my business, mainly because as soon as I get up, a small child tends to wake up as well. I find that I have to manage my day slightly differently. But essentially, there's a few things you can do. I always say get some exercise in some way. And I'm not saying go to the gym and smash out some weights like me. Go swimming, go for a walk, go for a jog, go for a run. Go to the gym if you want, dance, do something to get the blood flowing. It's so important to do some exercise and get your body moving in order to start the process in the morning. You can have daily affirmations that you say to yourself. I used to do this a lot, and they're always specific to self-development or business success. Find some daily affirmations, record yourself saying them, play it to you. I had a 6-minute recorded saved on my phone that I used to sit down and listen to every single morning. I used to go outside in the garden, bare feet, grounding, connecting with the earth, and listen to these affirmations every day. It just became a habit. It was slightly different in winter because it was raining and cold, so I did it inside. But during the spring, summer months, that's what I would do. Mindful practices. Now, people say they don't have time to do anything mindful, such as meditate. But essentially, all you're doing is having some quiet time to yourself. They put a label on it as meditation. I just say a quiet time to yourself, breathing to reduce the stress. Now, as a small business owner, the stress is real, particularly in a landscaping business. So, if you are on the tools, for instance, going out off site for 5 minutes, sitting down on your own in the van, closing your eyes and taking some deep breaths, that is a mindfulness practice. That is meditation, and that will reduce your stress. So thinking about things like that you could do, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, maybe once a day. I took some time to do it today and did a focus meditation. It was literally just breathing, but thinking about the breath, not thinking about anything else and trying to close off the thoughts. It was so simple, but it got rid of the tiredness, it got rid of the stress, and it allowed me to then focus on the rest of the day and what I had to get done. Having people around you that support and build you up. So whether that be networking, making an effort to go to some networking events, some industry specific, non-industry the specific, either way, having people around you, fellow business owners that might be going through similar challenges, might have some ideas, and getting that support, ideally from a coach or mentor like myself, who can be there, who has been in your shoes, who can understand you, understand your business, and help be your cheerleader, your guide, and your support network when you are building the business. Maybe you're downsizing the business, maybe you're just starting out. But it's super important to have that person or people around you to support you in this. And also making sure you're on track with your mindset. That's something that I like to remind my clients about, is the mindset practices. Now, they might not want to do them all. Honestly, some of them are just like, nah, it's not for me. But some of them have adopted them really well, and they've seen massive improvements in their business. I'm not just saying from doing the mindset stuff, but when you change your mindset, you change your outlook, and therefore your world begins to change, your business begins to change, your personal life begins to change. It really is massively important. Shouldn't take a back seat. Your mindset is the most important thing you should be working on if you want to take your business to the next level. It's so important. I would highly encourage you to think about how you can work on your mindset. Have a think about, are you in a fixed mindset space, or are you of the growth mindset space? Not what you want to be. Where are you now? Seriously reflect on that. And then I would encourage you to change, adopt, or improve your already existing growth mindset. And to do that, continually invest in personal development, continually look at ways to develop and work on your business, because that's so important, and get the support you need. Honestly, support is key. Think about how you view things at the moment. Do you immediately say, I can't find anyone, there's no point in this, it's rubbish? Or do you think, okay, I can't find anyone at the moment, what could I do differently? How could I approach this differently? Do I know someone? Or is it that the universe is saying it's not the right time to grow? So actually, how can I bring in more income in a different way? Thinking outside the box. How else can you bring income in? Might not just be through a team. Essentially, mindset is crucial in business because it empowers you to face challenges head on. It empowers you to take calculated risks and seize the opportunities as they arise. And that is what I'm leaving you with today. Now, please do subscribe to the podcast. I bring you new content every week. I hope to inspire and motivate you to do something in your business every single week. That is what I'm trying my best to do for you. Get you to think a little differently, act a little differently, and take new steps in your business to improve. Check out my website if you want more information on other resources such as the blogs, or you want to book a discovery call, or you want to find out more about working with me. Head over to the website, thelandscaperscoach.co.uk. Follow the podcast, leave me a 5-star review if you can, pretty please. That would really help me. And most importantly, tune in next week when I'll be back for another episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast.